Hey guys, welcome back to Right on the Edge. We're gonna look at this video by Neurotic. Why they hate the Lord of the Rings. Towering of So, why would Tower Toll as a why would they do it? I think it's kinda cool that he translated old like dead languages like Gaelic and stuff like that, and learned a lot of their mythologies, and then translated that into a book, like into one of the best-selling fantasy books of all time. So that's me. And also here with me is Megan.
Hi,
Hey Megan.
I'm eating candied yams.
Really?
Yep.
Tell me more.
Also, there's this girl that had dwarfism that helped make, I think, this book very popular amongst other books like Star Trek and Star Wars, in fact.
Really? No fucking shot. No fucking way. Well, without further ado, let's see, why do they hate the Lord of the Rings? Now, if I'm going to guess something, right? I'm going to guess. This is a guess, right? I'm just shooting in the dark. I have not watched this video at all. I've avoided all spoilers on this video, just so we can watch it together. Because I've seen a few people like react to this. If I had to guess, it's gonna be something patriarchy, something male heroes and strong women.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either, but I'm just guessing. What I'm guessing is that because they've done that to like a lot of people, and they try to often say that like goblins and stuff like that are like say anti-Drew stereotypes or whatever,
Yeah.
because goblins have like big noses and like, oh excuse me, like money, which is racist or prejudiced. Either way, it's an ist of some sort, by the way. But they like to say that, so that's my guess. That's my guess because when they try to tear down something like The Lord of the Rings, was obviously a very popular book. It was popular before they ever had movies. It's one of the most popular books and most faithful adaptations of a fantasy book to a movie of all time. But when they try to tear that down, it's usually some SJW crap. To quote Caleb Hammer, not Hamper. To quote Caleb Hammer, you don't have the power anymore, okay? You don't have the power anymore. We've turned against you. You can't just go and say racist, blah blah blah, sexist, something, and then have everybody like bend themselves in half trying to uh calm you down.
Yeah, sorry. I was like half paying attention because Shay opened up the door to the outside world and it's below freezing here, like well before below
So
freezing.
you went like this.
Yeah, it became like a vampire in the light, but
Yeah.
instead of the light, it was like the darkness and
For a second
cold.
there, I thought you said you became a vampire in Hawaii. I was like, the worst place a vampire can live, besides like Ecuador. You're like, 90% of your life.
You
Either
know, if
way,
you think about it, vampires can't live in the snow because of the reflection off the snow from the
that's true.
lights.
That's true. Yeah, no. What I was saying is that if I had to guess, this is some. The reason why they're trying to tear this down is some like SJW crap, where they're like, "Oh, there's a male hero." That's
Yeah,
sexist. Sort of. That vibe. More or less is what I
right.
said. I'm not gonna give you an exact quote because I don't remember what I just said, but that's 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 what I'm
That's
guessing
the
this
gist
video is
of it.
about. Yeah. So let's push play. Without further ado, we're gonna get right into this fucking video, boys and girl. There's probably like one girl out there. Hey, girl,
Me,
how
I'm the
you
one
doing?
girl.
It's actually her. Actually, hey, girl, how you doing? I know how you're doing. Go back to your husband, ho. Yeah, we got her, boys. We got her. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, let's push play.
I haven't actually seen this movie or read the books.
You've never seen The Lord of the Rings?
No. I know what it's about.
You're not allowed any opinion. You're only allowed to input when I say so, because I'm a man.
Wow, that's
That's
sexist.
just because I've read the books and seen the movies, but I'll add context, Megan. If you have any questions, just tell me to pause and I'll add context.
Okay,
Yeah, I was just messing with you. That was funny.
I know.
Never before has any voice uttered the words of that tongue here in Imladris.
Do not ask your pardon, Master Elrond, for the black speech of Mordor may yet be heard in every corner of the West.
You guys that don't know, what you just spoke was pretty much like ghetto Louisianan. I understood every word.
It's
I'm just
the
kidding.
Cajun.
I'm just kidding. That's not true at all. It it's when Tolkien made the language of the Lord of the Rings, it was actually based on direct translations from dead languages. He was a linguist, which is very impressive. And due to the mythologies that he translated, he actually made the Lord of the Rings books, and it was based loosely on those mythologies.
Nerderotic.com.
I Gavanya and you over 1 million men and women of the West and the 40% who
Let's be honest, mainly men. We know who watches these
Right.
videos. Wink. Looking good, girl.
haven't subscribed yet. Not a year goes by without some hack writer from the Access Media or academic attacking our beloved
That edit right there makes me think I was right. Purple air on Golem, I was probably right.
Let's hope you're not right,
Professor
because I don't
John
want to
Ronald
hear.
Rule Tolkien. And this year is no different. From the Telegraph, students shall
Students shall not pass unless they accept the Lord of the Rings is offensive. University
Um,
course suggests Tolkien's treatment of evil characters anti-Athergan antipathy. Oh, fuck
what?
you, Telegraph.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so they think that he was intentionally stereotyping the evil villains as anti-African sentiment, essentially. Fuck you. That's the most racist shit I've ever heard. And it wasn't Tolkien that did it. It was the Telegraph. Here. Like, some of the shit that amazes me so much because the only way you could think like that is if you were a racist.
Right?
Yeah, and a guilty racist at that. You're like, you're one of those dudes that goes and thinks the N word all the time and then goes, wow, I thought it, so everyone else must think it. And then
Right.
blames everyone else for your problems. That's what I get from this. What do you think, Megan?
Probably. I have no, like, is there any black characters in The Lord of the Rings?
I don't think it really specifies a color, to be honest, of most of them.
Then how is it racist?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like projection, you know?
Yeah.
Like, imagine you did something
Well,
bad, right, one time. And then when
yeah,
someone
well,
else does something similar to you, but they do it, like, innocently, you project your thoughts to them.
yeah, I know. I was just wondering because I've never seen the movies or read the books or anything.
I
So,
was I will say this: there's not much black characters in the movies and stuff, probably due to like where they were filmed. But that doesn't mean it was like inherently racist. It was just like when it was filmed, they were filmed in countries that had predominantly like Caucasian people.
you know what movie's actually pretty racist
Was that?
in a way? Is actually the Twilight series because Stephanie Myers was like, "Oh yeah, vampires can only have white skin because their blood burns off the dark skin tones or whatever the fuck she said." And I'm like, and
It burns
then
the
they make
melanoma
the
off.
movie, and then they make the movie, and the only characters that were black were the bad guy.
Well, I'm not sure if she specifically did that, but either
It
way.
just you get my gist.
Yeah, I
You
get
get
your gist. But yeah, no, there were black characters in there. It wasn't like it was like solely white, but due to where it was filmed, it was probably like casted majority white, just because it was casted in majority white countries. But
Oh, you're talking about
they did make the orcs and stuff, like some of them anyway have darker skin tones. But I don't think it was like, I don't know, I can't say it was, I don't think it was intentionally done. I think it was just
right.
like, what would an orc look like? And an orc is essentially like a resurrected dead elf using dark magic.
Right.
So it's like a rotten, think like a rotten mutated elf.
Okay.
Yeah, so rot usually takes like a darker color.
Right.
Yeah, like
Or
normally, right? Normally. Anyway, it's projection. It's projection. But let's continue the video because otherwise my drunk ass will keep on on talking forever.
Not pass unless they accept Lord of the Rings is offensive. University course suggests Tolkien's treatment of evil characters follows a tradition of anti-African antipathy. That's AAA to you and me. Generally, academics and activists, and quite frankly, I don't know the difference between.
Also, he's an evil guy. He's whispering into the king's ear. I don't know if you noticed, but he seems to be white.
right.
He might be white.
The two, so we'll just call them people who don't like to have fun and people who are no fun to be around.
Yeah.
Hate Lord of the Rings. And the attacks on Tolkien go back to the times when he was alive. But in recent times, it was made demonstrably worse by Amazon. You know, the company that started out selling
Fucking
books
Amazon.
when its owner, Jeff Bezos, decided.
Ah, look at him. The giant bald head of Sauron. So anyway, usually that's an eye right there, the eye of Sauron.
Yeah, I heard about the eye of Sauron.
Yeah. Now they just have Jeff Bezos' head here.
He wanted to make his own Game of Thrones and bought Lord of the Rings, which is funny because right now, Game of Thrones, along with Harry Potter, DC Comics, and the core part of Lord of the Rings that Jeff Bezos actually wants is potentially for sale. Anyway, Jeff Bezos is the Rings of Power, the billion-dollar disaster and failure that's basically a vanity project right now, gave the activists absolutely everything they wanted. Unfortunately, there weren't enough of them to watch, but it did.
So essentially, let me translate this into regular people who go online a lot. So he bought the rights to do the Lord of the Rings show, and then gave the activists everything they wanted, which means strong feminine character who's probably fake and gay or fake gay, and then also like a whole bunch of like SJW shit in here that makes no sense to anybody that's an actual fan. That's what he's saying.
Right.
I'm not saying that to be rude, but this shit never works. And you know why? Because the people that are out there bitching and complaining and on Reddit with their little fucking, oh no, you can't do this, it's anti-gay, blah, blah, blah. They don't watch this show. They're not fans, right? They're just bitching to bitch. They have to find something new to bitch about because they don't have enough going on in their own lives to have like a normal, everyday thing. Anyway, I said it. Then I'm sticking to it. These people do not have enough important shit going on in their own lives to care about. So they have to find made up fucking problems to care about. So
Right.
Amazon gave them everything they asked for. And the show failed because not enough people watched it. Because the people that watch this stuff are not, well, some of them might be losers of no life, but they're not the type of people you're pandering to. You pander to the wrong people.
Stir the conversation back up again. 5 years ago, I made a video called They Are Coming for Lord of the Rings, and it was a simple warning that the same thing we've seen happen to Star Wars, Star Trek.
It also happened to The Wheel of Time.
Wait, it happened to Star Trek because there's plenty of black people, white people, and Asians in that show.
Yeah, it's all about so essentially these people find something to attack in all these IPs, right? They've done it with Superman, Batman, you name it. They've done it. And they'll complain that they're like sexist, racist, misogynist, or whatever in some way, and boycott it, ending up like with some like woke ass version of that thing, and then when that fails, they'll be like, "Well, it failed because of misogyny."
I hate to be this way, but they've been doing that since the 1960s.
Yeah, but they shouldn't do it
It's,
because here's why. Here's why. The audience who are fans of these things are not you. They're not
right.
made for you. And there's lots of IPs and shit made for you. And you
Like
can like
Steven
it,
Universe.
but then, yeah, like Steven Universe. But then, when they are changed to be what they want them to be, right? They also don't support them. So they end up losing money
Right.
because regular fans who are just regular dudes or regular girls who just want to see a regular hero, and it's common for both men and women to just want to see a normal hero, right? Normal women want to see a strong, masculine dude saving the day. And you know what's crazy is normal dudes also want to see a strong, regular, masculine dude save the day.
Right.
That's 90% of everybody. I'm not saying that to be mean. It just is. You know, it is what it is. That's just how the numbers align.
I hate to be that way too though, but there's
Yeah.
a lot of people who are complaining about Witcher being feminist and saying that oh now they're just making a series about a game series for Siri specifically. She shouldn't be that strong, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
And they thought it was like a new thing, but it's not. She was canonically stronger than Geralt even in the books at
See,
the age of 13.
and that's fine. See, that sort of thing's fine. Because sometimes fans get
Yeah,
it wrong. I'm not saying fans are right every time. What I'm saying is what they
right.
do on average is they'll go and they'll take a famous IP, right? Like, let's just say Superman, right? Let's just say Superman. Or let's say Batman. Either way. And they'll just be like, how about if we turned him black and gay? But let's not change anything else. Let's not make a new hero. Let's not do anything else. Let's just make him black and gay. Or just gay. And they'll
Like, I
do
think
that.
it's wrong whenever I see the Green Lantern. I know Green Lantern Corps is a thing or whatever, but I think it's wrong to see a Green Lantern that isn't black.
Well,
Green Lantern was badass as fuck, but
no,
if I
so
see a white
I will
Green
say
Lantern,
this. I will say this. The Green Lantern from Earth was first white, and then his ring went to the black guy. But I love the Black Green Lantern. I love John Stewart. Love him.
right?
I love him so much. That Green Lantern was good. It was so good. But he wasn't the original.
But,
It's not the
no,
original.
but he's cooler.
I do think he was cooler. They were both cool though, because I read the originals too. So I read the original one about oh god, I can't remember his name. Because I like John Stewart better. I like John Stewart better, but I did read I'm old enough to read the original. Who was origin human Green Lantern? Hal Jordan, that's his name. Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan
Hell,
was the
Jordan?
Yep, Hal Jordan was the original. He was the original Green Lantern.
No,
And
what does Hell Jordan look like?
he was good. So he was a fighter pilot.
Yeah.
In the same way, I think Hal Jordan was also like military man. But when Hal Jordan died, he passed his Green Lantern ring to John Stewart.
Oh, he was
Let's,
like white.
yeah. But let's continue because he was the one I first saw, and then the ring got passed to Hal Jordan. I like them both personally.
Hell Jordan's the white guy.
Yep, Hal Jordan's yeah. So he passed it on to Stewart. I like I loved Stewart. He was probably my favorite Green Lantern. And it all started because of that movie, that DC movie back in the day, where he's beating Sinestro, and he's like, "Beware, Green Lantern's light, all evil shall." or whatever. You know, I'm drunk right now. Okay, guys, calm down. I probably remember it was sober. But anyway, let's keep playing. Let's keep playing. But I want to say, essentially, that's what they're talking about when he's talking about this. I just want to fill you in because I know you're not all the way up on like random internet beef from before you were born.
Trek and Doctor Who was going to happen to the professor's secondary world because the activists have been circling this mythology
Yep.
for a long time. And once they sunk their teeth into it with the help of their Hollywood corporate overlords, if anyone didn't like it, well, they were the
Yeah,
problem.
fuck
Particularly
you.
the readers of Tolkien who wanted to see
Dude, look at this guy, bro. Deep voice. Thinner than I am. Yeah, man.
That's
You got that
crazy.
testosterone to spare.
the professor's work adapted authentically. And in their infinite wisdom, the creators of the show decided to make the fans of Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, The Silmarillion, and all the works of Professor Tolkien the enemy. Responding to the backlash they absolutely knew they were going to get, Rings of Power producer and Bad Reboot
Yep. Yep. And when addressed to backlash from like changes and shit they did, they always blame the fans and they say, oh, it's just because you're a misogynist. Because they don't really have an
Right.
answer for why they did poorly, except for to blame other people. Because people like this, right? You see that lady? They take no
Yeah.
accountability for their own
Right.
actions. It has to be someone else's fault.
Reject Lindsay Weber famously said, "It felt only natural to us that an adaptation of Tolkien's work would reflect what the world actually looks like."
Go back to the book, go back to the book, go back to the book.
Yeah, go back to the book is what they should have done. And I think that's the same thing of every book adaptation that fails. Why did it fail? You have a built-in fan base. Well, I'll tell you why it failed. It failed because you didn't respect the fandom of the book. The book is always the answer. The book's always the answer. What are the fans a fan of? They're a fan of the book. They're not a fan of the fan theory that you have in your head. They're not a
Right.
fan of the politics you have in your head. They're a fan of the book. You have a built-in customer base that you failed. Take accountability for it. Own it. Fucking own it for once. And say, hey, we didn't live up to what the fans wanted. The book was great, and we should have not adapted like we did and gave the fans what they wanted. Because if you give the fans what they wanted, you have a built-in success rate. That's what's crazy to me. Lord of the Rings did it right. Lord of the Rings stayed as faithful to the book as probably they could have without like, you know, inner dialogues and stuff like that. They stayed very faithful to the book. They took some liberties, which makes sense, right? Because you can't adapt everything from book to movie like perfectly. But they still stay
Right.
true to the book and the story. Where most movie like film adaptations completely fuck over the book in every way. Don't do that. Don't do that and you'll be successful. If you just stay faithful to the book, you will be successful. You'll make millions and millions of dollars. Fucking speaking to you, fucking Wheel of Time asshole. Whatever that dude's
Was
name
it really
was.
that bad?
It was awful. The Wheel of Time Amazon adaptation was so unlike the book that's unrecognizable. If they hadn't used the same names for the character, you would think that the adaptation for Amazon was like a fucking like you know those 1950s like horror movies.
You
It
right?
was that bad, if not
Ugh,
worse. If not
that's bad.
worse. Yeah, and I didn't expect it to be like a one per one comparison, but they tried to play like the who done it game. Like who's the chosen one? Who's the chosen one? Where in the books, you know, they also aged up the characters so they could have like sexual relations, like a Game of Thrones thing. When the
Ugh,
characters in the books were like 16, and they hadn't done that, like,
right.
you know, it's like a couple of the main characters like promise and stuff like that, but they hadn't done anything because they're in the small fucking village, and then they made like the village like shittier. They gave one of the characters a wife for like no reason, just to kill her and give the guy some trauma for no reason. Like there's this like weird choices, and then they made one of the fan favorite characters, right? His name is Matt Cawthon. They made one of the fan favorite characters, fucking like a thief, even though in the book he was like a scoundrel for sure. He liked to play like pranks and stuff because he was 16. But they made him into a
Right.
thief. And they made his dad a cheater, even though his dad in the book was like a widower whose wife had died,
Oh,
and he was just a horse trader. But nobody spoke anything but good of him. But they made him like a womanizer.
that's
So
terrible.
yeah, so the character assassinated certain characters for like no reason. Either way,
I
let's
thought they
keep.
did pretty good with. Oh, go ahead.
No, go on, go on.
I was gonna say I think they did okay with the Witcher series almost. With the book, but
I heard that it was good until the guy that played Superman left, Henry Cavill.
right. Yeah, but the one thing that I didn't agree with is that there's this main character named forget his name.
His name.
Eskel.
Yeah.
They killed him off, and in the books he's still alive.
Interesting.
So they killed him off for no reason.
Yeah, they do that a lot too. So with Matt Cawthon's character in The Wheel of Time, he's the one that they turned into a thief for no reason. The actor decided to quit because after he read the book, he was like, "Wow, this is an awful adaptation." Essentially, he like disagreed with the director. They fired him and then like made his character like disappear in the show for no reason. Even though he's there to the last battle in the book, and he has to be there because without him there,
Um,
the world dies.
I think they did pretty good with the Jurassic Park adaptation.
No, that was good. Jurassic Park adaptation, perfect. No, you're not even going to deny that. Yep. But let's keep going. Let's keep.
Yep.
Completely ignoring the fact that Amazon paid $250 million to get access
Shit.
to a built-in audience that really enjoyed a world meticulously built by J.R.R.
I was gonna say this one more time. The Lord of the Ring movies, especially the extended editions, are the best book adaptation to a movie ever. And I stand by that.
I have to,
They are
I
the
have to check
best
it out.
adaptation from movie to book ever. Like my grievances with the movies are about small but important details that changed perspectives in the movie. So, for instance, when they go in the first movie and they're running away from the Dark Riders, and they seek refuge with the giants that can turn into bears. Excuse me, I can't remember exactly off the top of my head what they're called. The reason why the giant that turns into a bear was willing to shelter them is because they're against Sauron because he was the last of his people. He was the only one left. And that makes a difference because the reason why he did it is because he was the only one left. He had nothing left to lose. In the movie, they made it so he had a family. He had people to lose. He would have never sheltered them with his own temperament if he had people to lose. The only reason he did it in the books is because he had nothing to lose. He was the last of his species. And that's
Right.
important, like small details like that add up because it changes the context of the environment and it gives that dude a reason to accept them. And if you don't have that, then why the fuck would he do it? He wouldn't have done it. Reason why he did it is because he had nothing to lose. So it's like small things like that, but for the same, but it's still the best adaptation from book to movie. It's not
Right.
like it wasn't good. It was just like small little details where I'm like, I wish they'd added this in. You know what I mean? They'd added this in, it would have changed like it would have changed like a great movie into a phenomenal movie. That's all I'm saying. I didn't mean to talk over you by the way, Megan. You go ahead. Say
Oh
what
no,
you-
I understand. I don't even remember what I was gonna say. I was just like, yeah, yep.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, let's watch it.
Tolkien.
That's why we're gonna
and
keep
what
these guys for like 42 minutes on 3 minutes. 3 minutes of video.
Right.
he thought it actually looked like. Showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay also responding to the backlash called the fans patently evil. To Dwarf of Color actress Sophia Numvetti stating that her role and the Rings of Power are a necessary redress of balance in Tolkien.
Everyone was cast because they were the absolute best person for the role, and to be part of a
I hate people that talk like that.
Like what?
Ego. I hate people that talk like what she just said. Because the ego it takes to say that is crazy.
Oh,
Even if I
yeah.
won a role or a job or position, I would never ever think that I was the best for the role. I would always think that I was lucky to get the role because I was sure there's people more qualified than me that maybe I overlooked. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the ego it takes to say, "Oh, we're the best for the role. You're the absolute best for the role," is crazy to me.
Right.
Yeah, but maybe you're fortunate enough, lady, to think that. But be humble. Be humble a little bit. Be grateful for what you got. And that doesn't rub off well on a normal person.
redress of balance within this world.
And the address of balance will not your world. You don't get to say that this is an address of a balance in the world. It's not your world. It wasn't made by you.
Right.
Made by J.R. Tolkien. It's his world. And I'm not saying this being insulting to you, but the amount of ego it takes to take someone else's world and say, this is a redress of balance in your world. That's crazy. I would never do that to any author. I mean, I can't even fathom that. The amount of ego it takes to think like that is really crazy.
I'm
Anyway,
gonna mute myself for a second because I gotta go pee.
yeah.
Is an honor.
And the rest is herstory, and by all accounts,
Said herstory, bro. He said herstory. That was great.
the subversive work that is the Rings of Power should have been
Ah.
canceled, but the only reason it's still around is so Jeff Bezos won't be embarrassed. I would argue continuing to make it is more embarrassing. And of course, there's all the Access Media articles and academic research, from racially stereotyping in the works of Tolkien to a new Lord of the Rings prequel quietly confronts an uncomfortable legacy. How Amazon's The Rings of Power prequel grapples.
I don't really care because it says. I'm gonna say, it, guys. I don't really care because it says opinion. I don't know what these words say because it's, and prove it, and prove it, and then swap it with a person in any other position in any other country. Like if I wrote an African book, I'd be offended that all the characters were. If I read an Asian book, I wouldn't be offended because all the characters are Asian. That's crazy. It's absolutely insane. People write from the perspective of the world they're in. The world Tolkien was in was a European. This world, a hero of our own race, and to think any deeper than that is just insane to me. It's just insane to me. I, I just consider myself a regular dude like most.
With the deeply
Derek, you
ingrained
keep cutting
ideas of
out.
racial difference and race.
Was I cutting out? Well, I was probably cutting out for
Yeah,
you,
you.
but I'm not cutting out for me.
Okay, because it kept going like you'd start talking and then you would get quieter. Then you'd start talking again, and you'd get quieter.
Oh yeah, maybe so. Maybe I don't have it. But my point is that if I read an African book, I expect it to be from an African perspective with African main characters and a mainly African cast in them. In the same way that
Right.
if it was an Asian book, it would be mainly Asian characters, right? This isn't.
So I turned it down.
Yeah, why is it that the only people that get judged for writing in their worldview are white people or
Right.
European people? This is crazy.
Racial determinism in J.R.R. Tolkien's world, or the infamous Dear Tolkien fans, black people exist. And who can forget this book published in 2022, Tolkien, Race and Racism, in Middle-earth by Robert Stewart. Well, apparently everybody forgot about it, considering it only has 3 reviews on Amazon, and it's sitting at a 2.6, and it costs $93.43. Or
Those 3
Jesus.
reviews, bro, they're dedicated to pay $100 for shit. I'm just saying.
going back to 2002 from The Guardian, Race and Race. What with the dark skin, broad faces, and dreadlocks, it's a wonder Tolkien didn't give his baddies a natural sense of rhythm.
I'm going to say this straight up. Tolkien was dead before the movies were made. Okay? All the theatrical shit that were brought into the movies, they don't represent the books. You know?
Right.
Don't blame the directors. Don't blame Tolkien. Blame the directors. Like I'm pretty sure he left his characters specifically vague enough that you could put most anything to them. Like obviously he'll say like pale face or whatever. From the the Eurocentric point of view, but I don't think that he was like this orc had dreadlocks, dead ass.
Right.
You know, in his book, because I mean, I read those books. I'm 100% certain I didn't read anything about dreads. Okay, that's on the creators.
Says John Yet, examining Middle-earth suspect racial undertones, where he states multiple paragraphs down, perhaps I better come out and say.
Man, I have a lot of fucking opinions on this because it's Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings.
I don't think I'd have this many opinions if it wasn't Lord.
Right.
Or a fantasy book in general. I read a lot, so this guy fucked up.
Rings is racist. So this is nothing new under the 2 lamps, the 2 trees, or the Son of Arda. But this one takes it a step further because it's an actual course at the University of Nottingham. And that course.
They had a course on the racism of Tolkien books at a university. Fire these professors, guys. Fire these professors.
Are they talking about Tolkien or as like a learning thing, like Lord of the Rings as a learning thing?
Yeah, they're like, look at the racism of Tolkien, and it's like a class.
Right.
You shouldn't be a professor if you're teaching this class. I'm gonna say you shouldn't be. You're not teaching shit. There's nothing of value being learned.
Course comes off as an exploration of the actions of Robin Hood from the perspective of the Sheriff of Nottingham.
Call off Christmas.
Yeah, fuck
Once
Christmas.
again,
I like the fact that he used a clip from Robin Hood Men in Tights.
See, that show's so funny.
I love that movie so much.
From the Telegram, and we got to give him a little credit here on this headline. Students shall not pass unless they accept Lord of the Rings as the fence.
Yep. That is actually a fair headline right now, because what they're saying is that the professors will not pass you if you do not write a paper at the bare minimum saying that, wow, the evil characters actually are racist. Wait, hold up. You know what I mean? Like, the evil characters, they're stereotypes.
Are supposed to be a race.
Yeah,
Stereotypes. They are racist in a way.
Yeah.
They're racial stereotype.
God, that's so fucking crazy.
The university course suggests Tolkien's treatment of evil characters follows a tradition of anti-African antipathy. A university is teaching students that J.R.R. Tolkien demonizes people of color.
How do you know this dude's an American? People of color, or
Yeah.
bro, they just add a U. Okay, color. It's the same pronunciation. We just got rid of it in our history. Okay, you didn't have to be like color. It cracked me up though. You know what? Keep doing what you're doing. It made me laugh.
In the Lord of the Rings books,
funny.
a history module called Decolonizing Tolkien and Others, taught at the University of Nottingham, uses a text that says orcs and other dark-skinned characters in the trilogy are the victims of ethnic chauvinism.
No offense, but it sounds like some fucking commie gobbledygook.
Yeah, what that guy said. Some gobbledygook.
Dr. Oneka Nubia, a historian and writer, who leads the module, who's made plenty of
Wow. If it isn't exactly what I expected it to be.
Can't even see anything. Oh, there you go. I
Yeah.
can see now.
Yeah. Isn't that exactly who you thought would be teaching this class?
I thought it'd be a girl with pink hair.
You made me laugh stupid. Yeah, that's the second choice. That's the second choice. I was just talking about, okay, so look at this dude, right? Look at the eyes. Yeah, he got a
I'm
little
sorry, I
crane.
hate to be this way, but he looks like a pre-creation in a video game.
Yeah, so so he has the crazy eyes a little bit. Fake ass smile, and then he's wearing a fucking whatever this sweater thing's called, a cardigan, with a button
A
up,
cardigan.
a cardigan, yeah, with a button up underneath of it.
He looks like the default character for a video game though,
It's like this is the default. It's like you click random once, it just pops up this guy.
right?
Yeah, the usual suspects. You can just tell what this guy thinks based on how he's dressed. No respectable person dresses like this. Too many
You're
buttons
funny.
going on here.
appearances on the BBC and has put forth the narrative that medieval England had
Like this guy, I paused it. Unfortunately, there we go. Pause it a better time. This guy is a normal guy. You see? It might be the same
Yeah.
guy actually. Wait, this is dressed normal.
I think he is the same guy. That's what I was thinking. I was like,
But this
huh.
guy's dressed normal. This guy's dressed normal.
and cities as diverse as modern London, which
Yeah,
is
you can't trust
absurd,
him.
argues that
Can't trust him. He dressed like a nerd in one picture. You dress like a businessman in another, and then in a third one, he dressed like a super nerd.
Eastern races in the fictional realm of Middle Earth are depicted.
Oh, so what kind of name is that? Doctor Onika Nubia.
Sounds like African as shit, dude.
Yeah, fuck you, sir. You don't get to talk shit until Africa stops killing people.
Oof.
Good luck with that, buddy. Good luck with that. Oh, so you can't say that unless they outlaw slavery. Good luck with
Oof.
that, buddy.
Times two.
Yeah. Fuck you, bitch. We outlawed it. It might still go on, but when we find it, we beat the fuck out of him, boy. Yeah.
Fuck, dude.
I just hurt my own hand. Punch too hard.
Chill out
as
on the
evil, while
racism.
fairer-skinned peoples of the West
Oh,
are
that's
shown
you.
as virtuous. I mean, except for all the fairer-skinned peoples who weren't so virtuous, like dwarves who were not evil but could be famous.
One second, I got paused. There's a beautiful woman to my left. Taking her sleep medicine. Gorgeous. Alright.
Assholes like the petty dwarf Mim who betrayed Turin, or the dwarves that killed Thingol. And yes, despite what Amazon and their paid shills will say about dwarves, generally they're considered fair yet ruddy. And as far as elves are concerned, there's Feanor, whose actions led to the burning of the ships, and the kinslaying, which was the first time elves killed other elves.
Yeah, so he's saying that there's not just evil people that are black. Like he's saying that there's evil people of all races.
Sons of Feanor, who killed a lot of elves, or Maeglin, who betrayed Gondolin to Morgoth. Then there's the Men of the West. Where do I even start? Maybe with the Numenorians, who were sacrificing humans to Morgoth. The Black Numenorians, and no, they weren't black. And they were, deep in the past, oppressive rulers of realms like Umbar and Harad. Put simply, it wasn't black and white. There was a lot of moral complexity to Tolkien's works, and not every fair-skinned.
Yeah, so he's saying, fuck you, professor, you fucking racist. That's what he's saying. Saying, fuck you, okay? There's other races.
Apparently, he
You
didn't read
didn't
that
read 'em.
far into the book.
Yeah, apparently just because you didn't read them. Well, some of these things are in the prequels too. So at first he did like he did the trilogy first. During somewhere in the trilogy, he actually made The Hobbit, which showed like how the hobbits got the ring. And after that series was done, partly him and then partly his son made like a trilogy book talking about like more history and details into the world. And
Right.
yeah, so some of this stuff is from the books, and some of the stuff is actually from like the books that were made after the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Character was virtuous. And that's just scratching the surface. Now, obviously, I'm no Tolkien scholar or expert. I'm just a fan. But imagine if a real scholar or even a hardcore lorehead took this clown's course. It'd be hilarious. In reference to decolonizing Tolkien in academia, decolonizing usually means re-examining or moving away from white Western viewpoints.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight, Dr. Onyeka Nubia. You want to move away
Onyeka. Yeah, I guess I was pronouncing it kind of like a Japanese person. Been studying too.
away from the white Western viewpoint of Professor John Ronald Reuel Tolkien, an Englishman who wanted to write a mythology for England from his English viewpoint. I mean, but
Also, it wasn't just the English viewpoint, but it was based on the translations of dead English language or dead European language, like Gaelic.
by all means, move away from
Which, by the way, he helped translate, just FYI. They found dead
Right.
languages. They didn't know how to translate it. He translated them.
it. But why
Smart
would you
dude.
want to waste
Yeah,
your
very
time
smart dude.
doing that? Well, because it's not about re-examining or decolonizing. It's about deconstructing, to state the obvious,
Yep.
because somehow the academics got it in their brains that you can fight discrimination with discrimination. But it doesn't
Yep.
end there. In the module's core text, Dr. Onyeka writes that maligned peoples include Easterlings, Southrons, and men from Harad. The
Wow,
trilogy
men
also
from
features
Harad.
the dark-skinned orcs, evil creatures that do the bidding of Sauron, known as the Dark Lord. Now, the article says the trilogy, and I certainly hope
I bet you this guy was like, the Dark Lord. You know what that means? Black.
Derek, shut up.
It doesn't mean that at all. You know, but dude, he keeps quoting it, okay? It's quoted in the article.
you're not talking about the Peter Jackson films as much as they are the greatest trilogy ever made. They are not the most accurate adaptation of the professor's work. So are you just
Yep.
focusing on the Lord of the Rings books, leaving out The Hobbit, The Silmarillion, The
Yeah, the Silmarillion was talking about. So the Hobbit was made like after the 3 books, and the Silmarillion was made like after all of that stuff.
Children of Hurin, The Fall of Gondolin, The Lost Tales, etc. Yes, armies of Easterlings and Harad fought for Sauron, and yes, their complexions matched the regions they lived in because Tolkien accounted for that. You know who
Yep.
also fought for Sauron? The aforementioned fair race of the Númenóreans, some of whom became the Nazgul. But as far
Yeah.
as orcs are
The Nazgul, for your information, sir. I'm gonna say sir like that because I really hate when people do this. But the Nazgul that's the curse for the kings that accepted the rings from Sauron. They became the Nazgul. Right? It's in the fucking poem at the beginning of the fucking book. 1 ring to rule them all. 3 rings for elfin lords or whatever, and then 9 rings for human kings. You
Oh,
fucking
really?
dumbass. Yeah, I'm not talking to you, Megan. I'm talking to this guy.
Oh,
the-
yeah, I know you're not
yeah,
talking to me because I have no idea what you're talking
So the
about.
9 kings, right, became the Nazgul because the rings, right, with their power, converted them into serving the Sauron. So the original, they're the people in the black cloaks and shit that are chasing like Frodo and stuff. They served the Dark Lord because their rings twisted them and changed them into that from the 9 kings of humans or of mortal races, depending on like who you like who you like. Anyway,
concerned
I know it's debated amongst Lord of the Rings fans, but man, I read that book. Okay, I read all the books.
they're
I heard it's
creatures
really
who are
good.
humanoid,
It is
but not
really good. If
human,
you can
with
read 'em,
mostly
Megan, do it.
sallow skin. So I don't care what background you're from. If you see them as black people, you told on yourself. The
Yeah, you
orcs slash
racist.
goblins were created by Morgoth slash Melkor as a mockery of the elves, who were created along with everything else by the one true god Eru Ilúvatar, who are described by J.R.R. Tolkien in the often cited for multiple reasons Letter 210, a letter discussing a film treatment to Forrest J. Ackerman. They are or were squat, broad, flat nose, sallow skin with wide mouths and slant eyes. In fact, degraded and repulsive versions of the two Europeans' least lovely Mongol types. Now, the important bit there before he says Mongols is two Europeans. That is Tolkien acknowledging that that wasn't probably the nicest thing. So if anybody has a beef, it's the Asians. But if we're going to be judging things from his...
Yeah, so essentially what he said was they're the opposite of fair-skinned white people with full eyes, right? And they look like Mongols. So he was saying they turned some white people into Asians.
You gotta admit that's kind of funny though.
Yeah, but fucked up Asians too. Not even pretty Asians, right? He's like, they turned into fucked up. yeah. Like is J.R.R. Tolkien like perfect? No. I think he had the stereotypes of his time, and he fought in a world war, right? So I think he definitely
Did he really?
Yeah, he fought in like World War One. So I think this dude definitely had fucking racist stereotypes. But to say that they're anti-black is crazy.
Maybe
history, and we're gonna say
anti-Asian.
Mongol,
Yeah, maybe
that would be
anti-Asian,
from
or maybe at least disrespectful Asian.
Mongolia, say Genghis.
But mainly he was talking about Mongolians. Because Mongolians are feared by like 90% of everybody on that side of the world.
Right.
Because they are conquering everything on that side of the world for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Khan, which means about 0.5% of the male population of planet Earth could be offended by that remark.
Problem with it is Genghis was like a big murderer.
He was a bit
He did
He was murdery and rapist.
There's another problem as well. Quite rapey.
A remark made
He was quite rapey, bro.
in 1958. Many will make that the underlying thesis of Tolkien and all of his works being racist. But that is the deliberately disingenuous argument you will get from modern academics, particularly when it comes to Tolkien. Judging a man's perspective from the early to mid 20th century, that was completely acceptable by...
Holy shit. He was dressed like a Roman dude right there. One second. Do you see that?
Will get from modern academics, particularly when it comes to Tolkien. Judging a man's perspective from the early to mid 20th century, that was
Look at that.
Why was he dressed like a Roman?
That must have been fucking
Why
normal
were-
back then. For certain events. That's crazy.
Completely
This dude's dressed
acceptable.
like a cow person.
well, by the way, on modern day standards and having to dig to find something, while completely ignoring all the times that J.R.R. Tolkien said he was against things like racial doctrine and those National Socialists.
Yeah, see? Look. There was a solemn article in the local paper seriously advocating systematic exterminating of the entire German nation as the proper course after military victory. Because, if you please, they are rattlesnakes and don't know the difference between good and evil. What of the writer? The Germans have just as much right to declare the Poles and Jews exterminable, vermin, subhuman as we have to select Germans. In other words, no right whatsoever they have done. I have the hatred apartheid in my bones, and most of all, I detest the segregation or separation of language and literature. I do not care which of them you think white. That's some of the most anti-racist shit you could think of from a dude in 1959.
Right?
But
That's
the professor
crazy.
shouldn't be alone because Dr. Onyeka Nubia also went after C.S. Lewis, Milton, and Shakespeare. But again, this is just the latest salvo against the good professor from the disingenuous and evil academics. But this reminds me of the worst case of betrayal, the Tolkien Society. Harkening back to their seminar in 2021, coincidentally, a year before The Rings of Power came out, so I'm sure this was totally a coincidence that they had seminars like this. Gondor in Transition, a brief introduction to transgender realities in The Lord of the Rings. Not sure.
What?
Fuck you.
Hate to break it to you, but it was the
He would have,
1950s.
yeah, he would have never thought of that. in the 1950s.
How they managed to get a 30-minute seminar out of something that wasn't a reality anywhere within the works of the devout
Because they made it up, dude. Like,
Catholic
we all know
professor.
it.
What is this you demonstrate?
And yes, these are real from the Real Tolkien Society, an educational charity and literary society devoted to the study and promotion of the life and works of
How
the
dare
author,
you.
established in
How dare you.
1969.
But wait, there's more.
The problem
No.
of pain, portraying physical disability in the fantasy of J.R.R. Tolkien, The Invisible Other, Tolkien's dwarf women, and the feminine lack, projecting Indian myths, culture, and history onto Tolkien's worlds. The losseth indigeneity, identity.
These people should be banned. This is
This is-
disgusting.
This is very insulting.
Comments are turned off. Learn more. I was like, I wonder why they're turned off.
And anti-racism. We are atheists, agnostics, and animists. Oh my. Or
It's an animist.
I was about to ask what an animist is.
Hold up. Let's look this up, people.
how
What's
about
an
this
animist?
one? Something mighty.
What's an animist? Let's see. An animist is someone who believes that spirits are inhabit not just humans and animals, but also inanimate objects, natural phenomena like rivers and mountains, abstract concepts like a deep interconnected spiritual life in the entire world. Oh, so crazy people. Okay. Crazy people.
Well, that's what Native Americans believe in. Well, they're just the nature part of it, not nothing else.
Yeah, the crazy people.
Queer,
I'm just gonna say that.
destabilizing cis hetero normativity in the works of Tolkien.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, what that guy said. With that face. If I could make that face. What? Like, I can't
This
make that
might
face.
be my favorite. Pardoning Saruman, the queer in Tolkien's.
They're like, actually, you know the guy that was going to destroy the whole world? He's kind of the victim.
The Lord of the Rings. For those of you who may or may not know from the books, Saruman the White later identifies himself as Saruman of many colors, which could be interpreted as wearing a rainbow flag.
What?
Gay.
Many colors.
Yeah.
I just thought meant like you know, because white's made of like all shades of like light colors. That's all I thought. Like, oh yeah, white, many shades.
And when he reveals himself, Gandalf's response pretty much thumbs up everything happening here.
For I am Saruman the Wise, Saruman of many colors.
I like white better.
Like white better, bro.
It serves as a beginning.
There's at the beginning,
White
bro.
cloth can be dyed, the white page can be overwritten, and the white light can be broken.
In which case it is no longer white, and he that breaks a thing to find out what it is has left the path of wisdom.
Let's not forget back in February of
Yeah,
2023,
That's a good quote.
The Spectator reported that a unit within Prevent, the UK Home Office's counter-extremism program, had drawn up several lists of dangerous books. It claimed that these works could prompt or indict support for the far right or horror of centrist horrors, Brexit. Among the specific works mentioned were novels by titans of English literature, including George Orwell, Joseph Conrad, C.S. Lewis, and J.R.R. Tolkien. So I'd like to remind everyone who tries to take down this English legend, prolific author, and all-around good human being that the rest of the world does not agree with you, including you, Dr. Onyeka Nubia. Considering Lord of the Rings has been translated
What's he a
into
doctor of?
57 different languages and has at least 87 translations. It's sold over 150 million copies, making it the third or fourth best-selling book of all time. And if you combine it with The Hobbit, that's 250 million copies. Then there's all the other books and media, and of course the films, The Lord of the Rings.
One day here, guys. Give this video a watch by Nerdotic. Yeah. Mainly, I'm wanting to hear because if he gives me another whammy about some crazy shit, I'm gonna be like, oh fuck. and get banned or something. And I mean that in the most
He's got that
respectful
nerd
way. Like,
rage.
dude, some of this shit's so stupid that I'm just. Woo, we went on some tangents tonight. I think we went on some
A little
tangents
bit.
tonight. Uh, what's this video about? I guess why they hate the Lord of the Rings, bro. Why they hate the Lord of the Rings is what it's about. But I went on some side tangents for sure because I've been drinking and then I had to listen to some bullshit. But that being said, I hope you guys have a great day. I love you, and as always, just leave a comment below. Deuces.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.